Hi, church. Happy Friday. Welcome to today's digital devotion. Last week, we talked about the fall equinox and restoring balance to our lives, sort of in recognition of how we have equal parts of light and dark, and it's the beginning of a new season, the beginning of autumn. And today, we wanted to continue that conversation by going a step further and talking about the concept of harvest. So obviously that's a big part of our fall and autumn celebrations here in the US. No matter what climate you're in, we often celebrate with traditional harvesty types of foods like pumpkins and squash and gourds. Apples. And so we thought it would be a fun reflection to think about your own personal harvest. What in your life have you been working on, toiling over, building, and dedicating your time and energy to since the spring? And what might be coming to fruition as a result of that focus and energy and hard work? It could be anything in your life. It could be a project. It could be something personal, like your own personal growth, a mentality that you've been trying to work towards, something that you have been spending your labor on. And perhaps now you're starting to see the fruits of that. And if that's the case, we would love to know what that is and how you might celebrate that you've come so far, recognizing that the harvest is a season, so there's no need to feel like whatever that project was, personal or physical or emotional, has to be finished now, but just starting to see the beginnings of something happening because you've been spending time on that.
You know, it's interesting when I am like in the weeds of my work and putting my nose to the grindstone and just continuing to move forward, and I don't take a step back and look at what I've done, I think that I haven't accomplished anything. Like you just keep going. You're like, what if I'm not getting anything done? Things aren't finishing. There's projects that keep adding up and nothing's coming to conclusion. But when I allow myself to take that moment and kind of consider the harvest and start taking stock of what has happened, that's when I realize, oh my gosh, actually a lot has gotten done. I forgot that happened and that happened and I got that completed and we did that. And you start realizing that when you take a big picture view instead of just that day to day where you just keep going, then you realize how much has actually gotten done. So I think it's good to take a step back and consider the harvest. What has been the results of all of that hard work? Even if it's still ongoing, there's still something that has been produced that can be celebrated. And it's good to take that moment to say, wow, I'm really proud of that, or I'm really glad that happened.
Right.
And to take that moment to celebrate.
Do you have any examples you want to share?
Well, I just think about, it's important to do that, I think, in church work. And so we've been this week thinking about this grant we're applying for funds for our children's ministry to enhance intergenerational worship experiences. And when we stopped and kind of took a survey of what we've done to this point, in our vision for the future, well, there was actually a lot we've accomplished.
We were very proud of how far we've come.
And so Pastor Laurel and the children's department and our CYF board, like, wow, they've done a lot. And so, you know, we still have a lot of exciting ideas for the future, but it was good to stop and celebrate how much beautiful ministries happened.
Yeah. I was thinking too about the ways in which we worked really hard to maintain connections with one another during the pandemic, despite social distancing and despite technology issues and all of that now that we're starting to come back more regularly in person and starting to meet as our fellowship groups in person, we're starting to see the fruit of that dedication to making sure that those relationships and those connections weren't completely lost. And I'm seeing people reconnect and form deeper friendships in person and be able to do things together to create memories as fellow Christians, and that's just really exciting to me as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we wonder, what personal harvest are you able to stop and celebrate this week? And we would love to hear from you. We will see you in worship on Sunday, friends.